All right, welcome everyone. We have Karl Smith on the episode. Welcome here, Karl.
Hello there.
Hello, and thank you for being here. Just a little brief introduction for the people that are listening to know how my connection to you is that we have never spoken before.
Oh,
The reason I come about your name and our conversations on Facebook is because in the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy, people get
Who? Who's
Mike.
Mike Mandela? Who? This Mike Mandela keeps turning up in my life. I'm telling you,
I know who is
he's
this guy?
stalking me. Mike
He is
Mandela keeps stalking me.
Mike Mandel, and it's all the members that brought up your name. They're like, "How do I do this?" or "How do I resolve this issue with PTSD or phobias or addictions?" And they're like, "Oh, well, Carl Smith has this technique. Carl Smith has this technique." And so again, welcome. Thanks for being here.
No, you're more than welcome. No, it's good to if the Mandela crew are listening, they're very good friends of mine. Me and Mike are very, very good friends, and we have the same opinion on a lot of things.
Mm. And that's rare. I'm finding in the hypnosis community of 30,000 members now on Facebook, having the same opinion is a rare phenomena.
Oh, mate, there's one thing you've got to remember is opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. I mean,
Right.
you could have 15 hypnotists in a room and have 40,000 answers. Do you know what I mean? Everyone has their opinion, and we'll probably digress into this interview in a moment about why I stay with where I am and come back to fundamental basics.
Mm.
For that very reason. And I know, and talk to Mike and many other people that I travel around the world with, teaching with, and going around the world with. We fundamentally like to keep it very basic. It's
Right.
when you overcomplicate this, people think too far outside the box,
Mm.
and then they before your NLPs go, I know there's no box, right? But the thing is,
Exactly.
is that they do start to overcomplicate it like that, but there's no box. The first thing that NLPers say to me, there's no box. Who gives a shit
Right.
about the box? But the thing is that we do have this tendency, and there is this huge tendency to overcomplicate, and
Mm.
especially in a world of marketeering as well, when hypnosis itself is very, very easy.
Mm.
And we bring Mike up. Me and Mike are very good friends. So Mike teaches my stuff. I teach Mike stuff. We've got this very lovely thing going on with me, him, and Chris, and all that, and many other trainers around the world. Sean Michael Andrews, and we all talk and we all do stuff. We all do things very differently, but at the core, some of the best trainers around the world keep it fundamentally
Mm.
simple. And,
Mm.
and and that's where I sit with all of this.
Mm.
I get so agitated when I see people say I've got a 900 restep, and I've got this idea, and you missed number 34 in the
Right.
sequence. It means it didn't work. You're like, Jesus Christ, fucking what's
Yeah.
going on here?
And it seems like each step that they have, the 900 step program that they invent, is like another layer of investment. Now,
Yeah.
and a secret handshake, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and that's the thing you see is that we're in a world where money, 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 money,
mm.
money, money, money. And funny enough, I've just been listening to my 6-year-old boy say that. But the thing is that we are in an environment now where we're stepped away from fundamental basic hypnosis that
Mm.
works into if I overcomplicate this, I
Yeah.
can sell you a really, really shit product. I can charge
Yes.
you, I can charge you £5,000 for a really shit product that you could
Yes.
get on Timu for fucking 10 pence.
Timu. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and it really is. I think and I know that we've already just kicked this off, but I think fundamentally, I think that when people step aside and they look at, it's not, people aren't looking for techniques. People aren't looking for certification. Don't get me wrong. If you're just starting in this profession, my heart goes out to you. Lovely certificate. Do what you need to do. Enjoy it. Stick it on the wall. Have a lovely time.
Mm.
But your clients are not interested in that. Some states in America require you to do certain things, but to be honest, that's not really checked either because you can make your own
Mm.
certification up because there is no, actual accrediting body. There are bodies out there that offer accreditation, but they're not
Mm.
actually real. You know, they're
Mm,
closed. They have no jurisdiction to shut you down. But
mm,
when I'm talking about accreditation and I'm talking about those type of things there, I'm talking about like doctors, if they are done for malfeasance or they do something wrong in office, they're struck off. An
mm,
orthopedic or a chiropractor in England, I'm not too sure what it's like in the States or Canada, but an orthopedic surgeon or a chiropractor or a dentist does something
mm,
wrong, struck off.
mm, mm,
Whereas in hypnotherapy, you cannot be struck off.
mm.
So when we're talking about governance, about legal, clinical, medical governance, and I get this, people go, oh yeah, I'm in this accredited body. Can they
Right.
stop you from working? No, they
Mm,
can't stop you from working. And they can't stop you, especially in today's world with Zoom, they
mm,
can't stop you working and doing anything. It's this whole
mm.
criteria about that. So when you see me bleating on about it, and I know Mike's mentioned it before, you know, I will say it, but um, you know, we firmly believe that, you know, that some of the stuff out there is fast food, very fast food. You know what I
Mm,
mean? It's very good for
mhm,
you initially. Some of the training is really good for you initially, but it'll give
mm.
you the shits later down the line. And that's exactly where we are with this. And I'm really sorry if some people have never seen me before, but on the same time, I'm very direct with who I am. I love my job. I love I'm very passionate about my work, and I don't like people being ripped off.
Right.
I've been doing this 17 years now, I think, 16,
Mm,
17 years, and
yeah.
all over the world. I've had the right privilege, do you know what I mean, to do this, and I get very passionate about it when I see people get this. They wreck their careers
Mm,
because they're so caught up in the minutia. They forget
yes.
the bigger picture. You know, for instance, I was talking to somebody the other day who was in California. He says you can't practice in California. I was thinking, well, fuck me, I teach in Los Angeles and I've taught in San Diego and I've taught in San Fran. I've taught in Seattle. So, you know, and I know that's the next
Right.
thing. And I've taught in Las Vegas, I've taught in New York, and I've taught in Arizona, you know, and I'm just thinking, where do you get this from? But that's the mindset.
Mm,
It's a very, very small mindset about you're not in my accrediting body. You're not doing what I'm doing,
right.
which
Right.
all right. But so here's one top tip for your listeners. And I always tell my students this: see yourself as a global asset, not a village arsehole. The moment the moment you become a global asset and start thinking about clients in Australia, in Switzerland, in Canada, in America, in UK, in Ireland, in Iceland, like I do,
Mm,
then you realize you don't need that umbrella of love. That I'm in this accrediting body, and I get it.
right.
Some people are just starting out, but I don't know. I know that we just went on a complete and utter tangent. I think we were going to start,
And
but
yet it ties together because you mentioned overcomplicating things and
yeah,
overcharging and not getting results because of that, because
yeah,
it's kind of clouds the pure form of it. And then you mentioned doing this for 17 years, and it reminds me of your origin story of going to someone and overcomplicating things labeled as cognitive behavior therapy.
yeah.
So you had
Cog-
PTSD. Do you mind taking us to that story, how
yeah.
you got started
Well,
here?
actually, got it wrong there. It's called cognitive CBT. Is called cognitive behavioral torture, right? Because it makes you want to keep swimming around in your own shit.
And
Anyway,
in a little line in here, it just reminds me of a great line by this famous philosopher called Kanye West. And he said, I don't negotiate with therapists.
yeah, no.
It's brilliant.
No. The thing is, so for those people that have never bumped into me before and just met the first 4 minutes of carnage, by the way, so you know, I think my background dictates of where I am, and I think that for my when I go through it, you'll understand. I did 12 years in the British Army, went to all the places that your holiday representative definitely won't send you to. Did the Iraqs, the Kosovos, the Bosnias, Northern Irelands. I've seen the best, you know, I've seen the best and worst of humanity in my military career. Um, and then I left the army and then joined the police and then became a SWAT officer quite, and I say SWAT, that for my UK friends, a tactical firearms officer. For my US Canadian friends and around the world, it's SWAT. That's what we are. We were
Mhm.
doing all the tactical stuff where we were going through, you know, doing, you know, really fun stuff. But then my life changed in August 4th, 2006, when I was hit by a drunk driver, a DUI, somebody who was under the influence of drink and drugs, and he crashed through the front of our house. I run out, and then I grabbed. Bearing in mind, somebody thought they were being smart one day and thought they'd
Mhm.
caught me out. I wrapped my hand around the seatbelt and was trying to get him out. And they said, "Well, yeah,
Mhm.
he said he demonstrated it with his left hand and then hit him with his right.
Oh, right.
We drive on the right side of the fucking road, right. So the thing is, I wrap my hand around the seat button. That's really important because as I was trying to get him out of the car, the drink driver, the car rattled down, hit the floor. I got caught underneath the car, and it
Mm.
rattled me underneath the car for a bit. And then I popped out, and he never meant to. And it's very easy for me to say now. We're a few years down the line now. In fact, hang on a minute, it's the 20th anniversary this year. Oh my God, 20 years that happened. Anyway,
Yeah.
so the yeah, 2006. And he hit the accelerator. He was in a drop because we have, I don't know, you call it shift stick, I think, over there. Where we have
Mm.
gears. We're predominantly gears. We don't have
Right.
automatic, whereas predominantly when I'm over the other side of the pond, you have automatic cars that,
Yeah.
just in drive and up, you're off. Whereas we go for the refined purpose of 1 to 6, you see.
Mm.
And
Yes.
yeah, and long story short is he was in an automatic that day, a normal car for you good souls.
Mm.
He just stuck it in drive. He was in reverse, stuck it into drive, hit me again, and dragged me down the road. But on the second one is when I headbutted the number plate off, and that's how he found his car.
Mm.
Yeah, so he just drove off into the distance. So yeah, he left me with damage to my legs, my arm, my lower back, my upper back, my shoulders, my face, and a couple of injuries to my head. And the long story short is that he left me in a really bad way.
Mm.
And what happened next is that it's just a case of I went through the physical pain. I was in plaster cast in both legs. I had plaster cast on my right. I think it was on I can't remember now. But right arm. There was a bandage on one of them and a plaster cast on another. I was in a neck brace for a bit and all those type of things. And it was a long process. But I was at the time. The doctors gave me 2 sets of drugs, no, 3 sets of drugs actually, and one of those was called tramadol. I
Mm.
don't know what the US name. I don't know what the party line name is for it, but over here it's called tramadol, and it's a drug that's used on horses as well for
Mm.
tranquilizing
Yeah.
horses, and I was getting quite happy on those. I was getting, just popping those every day and sticking those down because what I was finding is as the physical pain was dying off, the emotional roller
Mm.
coaster was trying to kick in. And the more and more I ate the tramadol, the more and more the naughty noise went away. Now we now know that to be, a system of, masking stuff up and things like that.
Mm.
And what happened is that I became really friendly with Jack Daniels and
Mm.
Tramadol, and we became really close friends. And nobody could get me away from my friends, even though how hard they tried to get me away. Me and Jack Daniels were
Yes.
there. So and that went on for a bit until eventually I tried something stupid one night where I thought I would end it all because I thought it was a burden to my family, and then the police intervened. I tried taking my own life on a bridge, a rather like hard bridge just up the road from here, funny enough. And the police turned up, and one of them recognised me, realised I was in a desperate state. They took me in for a bit of an interview and stuff like that. They realised that the CBT, the cognitive behavioural
Mm.
therapy, or torture, as I like to put it, anyone who likes putting somebody through the same problem over and over again is a burn
Mm.
mark. It's horrid. And counselling. Now, let me get this right. There are some good CBTers out there, and there are some good counsellors out there. But
Mm.
the military emergency service seem to have this one size fits all type process.
Mm.
As in,
Mhm.
we're going to offer you counselling. Well, counselling doesn't work for everybody. And a lot of people may disagree with me, but on the same token, sometimes a beer or a good bottle of red wine with a close friend can achieve the same result as going to see a counsellor. You sometimes sit there with a counsellor. The amount of times that I speak to people that go to counsellors and they go, "We didn't really fucking do anything. We just sat
Mm.
there talking about shit." And
Mm.
it's the same process. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes your friends have got better ways of telling you that you're
Right.
stupid. Anyway, do you know what I mean? So, um, but I'm not saying that it's not. What I'm saying is that CBT and counselling didn't work for me, and that's something you have to be very cautious of, because you have to try and pick up the people that haven't experienced hypnosis yet. This is what happened to me, and a serving police officer down in London, who I have not seen for 17 years and
Mm.
saw him last Sunday. It's really weird that how that came up. So anyway, he did. I saw him last Sunday in a coffee shop, and yeah. And the long story short is, he said, I know hypnosis, and I said, and I'm from a holiday resort in Great Britain. I was
Yeah.
being a lovely big island. We've got some lovely beaches and stuff like that, and very Victorian type stuff. That's where I'm from, a Victorian seaside place called Great Yarmouth, and my only point of reference to that was when I was about 13, 14 years old. Yes, you can all imagine this as the great hypnotist that I think I am. You can all imagine this, that I used to be in a little white shirt with a dicky bow and a
Mm,
pinstripe little waistcoat on,
mm,
selling fucking ice creams at the intervals of stage shows. And
mm,
one of the stage shows that was on every Sunday was a guy called uh, Ken Webster,
mm,
and Ken's still going to this day. And he was there, and I used to think, what a load of shit this is. Look at all those people up there, doing this and doing that and doing that, and it's fucking like that. So my only point of reference is the
mm,
fun stuff, and I have no objections to that. I think every hypnotist, whether you're a clinical or whatever you want to call yourself this weekend, should do stage training. I really
mm,
do. But the thing is that when I was in the police, my only point of reference is that. So when I was going, no, I ain't doing that. And he said, no, 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 no. Let me come over and show you. And he did. And that was the catalyst that went bang
mm,
onto bigger things. And it's really important you understand that. And a lot of people say to me, because I've got my YouTube channel, I think there's about 940 videos, I think, on there now. I'm trying to beat David Schneider. If you don't know David, go find David. He's a very good friend as well. But me and Dave, at the end of the day, it's about showing people you can do it. It's not about ego. A lot of people get caught up with that.
mm.
Blowing doors out, driving fast police cars, and working with doing all these funky things that I've done in the past. That's ego. This is fun. I love
Yeah,
this. But the
yeah.
thing is that I've always been very keen to educate people, and I
Mm,
can't get that across to some therapists because they're so worried about the acronyms behind their names. They're so worried about the certificate
mm,
on the wall that means
mm.
fuck all, and and it's just one of those things really that I've always been passionate about, and that 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 intervention with a guy called Ben that day never has left me about how I was going, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. It's bullshit. It's a load of bullshit. Let me show you something. What are you going to show me? Just let me show you something. Give me 2 minutes of your time and I'll change your life. And that's
Mm,
exactly what happened. And lots of people within this profession are so worried about the bullshit and the minutiae, they're
mhm,
forgetting to capture the people that are going, oh, I don't really like this
mm,
because
mhm.
they're scared of their own shadows. They're worried that the accrediting board might kick them out or
Right.
may lose their certificate because they haven't bowed down to their cult leader. You know what I mean? All that type of
Yeah.
shit. So I'm very when I do things, I'm very passionate about it because of that very reason about how my life really did change because of
Mm,
hypnosis and how I see hypnotherapists, and it's that's 25 years of being in the military and being in teams in firearms teams in the police and all that type of stuff. That's my personality. It's about pushing, driving, working with teams, getting the
mm.
best out of people, making
Yeah.
sure that if I do something, I'm there on spot, ready to do stuff, and I find that really people, when you leave the military and the police, people say, "What's your biggest transition problem?" And I say, "Fucking people. That's my problem." People are the biggest cause of my stress because they don't have that drive. But when I'm working,
Mm,
my training manager Andy, me and him used to work with each other. We're like this. We both
yeah.
so we're driven. We know what we're doing. And when I see
Mm,
therapists wasting their time on the next thing, on the next thing, on the next thing, I just feel so sad that
mm.
you're not. You're doing it, there's that one, there's a high possibility a trainer doesn't know anything about hypnosis. That is a very high possibility. Uh,
Right.
not all the time, but there are a lot of, there's some really good people out there. And, we all go to Hypno Thoughts. We all travel around the world. We all go to conferences and that. Some really good people out there. There's a lot of sausage factory bullshit out there as well. And they're like that.
Yeah.
Next, next, next.
Yeah.
And they don't give a shit. They read the same script. That's
Yeah.
another thing I'm going to come on to. They read the same script that they were taught because they know no better.
Right.
Because they think that's right. And you're like, fucking how you doing? When people are coming out of training and they haven't got, I myself and Barry Neal and Mike and Melissa Tears and we all sit there sometimes. David Schneider, we just look at things and just go, why don't you just teach these fucking people properly in the first place?
Right.
Why don't if you taught them properly in the first place, they wouldn't need scripts. But that's
Mm,
why it's a sign of bad training. And it always is. And I've always found that because you know, with especially with scripts, I don't care what you say, as in people say.
Mm,
I know for a fact because of the way I work, scripts are, and I think Mike first coined this. Scripts are like McDonald's. They're
mm,
very appetizing at the beginning, but give you the shits a couple of hours later. Same
yeah,
process with scripts. They're not center focused. They're not. A script is designed for one person, for the therapist to hide behind.
right,
That's all it is. That
right.
is all a script does. And you can paint it in any color that you want, but that is it. Because when you work as a real hypnotist, a pure hypnotist, you work
Mm,
content free and you work directly with the subconscious, unconscious monkey brain.
yeah.
Then I really do think that you then understand hypnosis. And like you said at the very end, you want me to do a demo. Well, we'll talk about that later on. But the main thing is that I really I love I've got a passion about this because it saved my life. And when I see people poorly trained by really bad trainers, I know Mike's the same as well. I keep bringing Mike up. It's only because we talk quite a lot. I'll have to tell him, by the way, I brought his name up in vain. I'm gonna have to vox him in a minute. Mike, I mention you again. Just for anyone sits there crying on the phone at you. Man, Carl mentioned you.
It's interesting. I'm stuck on the one part where you said some of them hypnotherapists focus on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. What do you mean by they're doing the next thing and the next thing?
They're looking for the next new shiny thing.
Mm,
When the next new shiny thing should be, realistically, in my opinion,
mm,
people buy people. They're not interested in certificates.
mm,
But I work in government level. I work in NHS, which is our NHS system, which is our free healthcare
mm,
over here. I work in police. I work in AMBO. EMS for my
mm,
guys, for you guys and girls over the water. But fire, AMBO, Coast Guard. I work for. None of them have ever asked me for my certificates.
mm,
They've never asked me for anything. Do you know why? My YouTube channel.
mm,
My YouTube channel shows who I am, what I do, and I can do it. That's
mm.
all people want to know. The old way, because we've shifted on so
Yeah.
far in the past 20 years about this. Oh, you need to be accredited.
Mm,
That's in a modern world, that's dying.
mm,
It's dying. And more people want to influencers and stuff like that, which I think I come into that category. I
mm,
may not earn the money, with the long legs and the blonde hair. That's
mm,
only on OnlyFans, by the way, if anyone. But you know what I mean is that my job is to influence people, to show people proper techniques and ideas, and
mm.
work from YouTube. And when somebody says, Carl, have you ever worked with COVID before? There's the video. Carl, have you ever worked with trauma before? There's a load of videos there.
Yeah.
And Carl, have you ever worked with amputations before? There's
Mm,
2 or 3 videos there.
mm.
I don't sit there with certificates on my wall,
Right.
certificates on my YouTube channel.
Mm,
And a lot of
mm,
therapists negate marketing and business.
mm.
They really negate their marketing and business for the next new shiny fluffy course.
Right.
Oh, I'm now a gast. How many times do we see it? But don't anyone who's watching this. I do enough of these videos now. I like to know when to talk to people. When I'm not having a go at you personally. I'm saying to people, as in the people watching this,
Mm,
I'm saying pick a fucking lane. Pick a
mm,
lane and stay in it. If you are going to be a specialist in something, don't put up the following.
mm,
You've just done another weekend
mm.
course. So last week you were a specialist in anxiety. Now you're a specialist over here in gastric band. Pick a lane.
Yeah.
And,
And
and
yeah, I'd like to ask you about that because before I came on here, I was looking at one of your latest blog posts on your website is talking about the niching down. And
yeah,
then you just mentioned on your YouTube channel, you have COVID, you have amputees, you have this, you have that.
yeah.
So
I look. So here's
yeah.
one thing for you. I give a repertoire of everything I can do.
Mm,
My YouTube channel shows I'm competent in what
mm,
I do because there's a lot of incompetent people, and it's not their fault. It's bad trainers, very, very
mm,
poor trainers, not people, because they don't know any better. Now, through the years, I've been doing this for 17, 18 years, I can pick. Everyone who knows me knows I'm a post-trauma guy. But if you go
mm,
to my channel and somebody says, Carl, have you ever done this, this, and this? I can show them a portfolio of how well I do. When I
mm,
when I've picked up TV work before, in America and Canada and in England as well, and in Australia, when I picked those up, they were found by YouTube. They were like, "Fucking hell, look at this guy! Look at
Yeah, this guy's
here.
cool. Yep.
Yeah, he's got a whole ream of stuff. We could probably pop it. You know, when you work for TV, it's like, how long are the strings? Go,
Yeah.
monkey boy, over there, monkey boy, go perform
Yeah.
that." But the thing is that that's the thing. Can he do street? Yes. Could he work with an amputee? Yes. Can he work with COVID people? Yes. Can he work with trauma? Yes. Could he
Mm.
help a 9-year-old with the fear of bedwetting? Yes.
Mm.
That so it shows that whole thing there. But predominantly on my website, I am trauma. I am
Right.
military and trauma. Now, when we talk about niching, right? When we talk about niching, a lot of people get caught up, by the way, with I'm going to be a niche in anxiety. I'm going to be a
Mm.
niche in this, and that's fair cop. Good. But what you also have to remember is you have to niche in your personality.
Mm.
When people come to me, let's say you've got an average therapist, and I mean this, and I'm trying to say this in a very politest way. I'm not trying to be arrogant. What I'm trying to say is
Right.
your archetypal nodding therapist, right?
Hmm.
Tell me what your problem is,
You're
right?
right.
And they sit there and they go through the problem. Very slow, methodic. There is a
Mm.
time and a place. There is a time and a place for that. There is a
Mm.
time and a place for those people who love their spiritual, their unicorns, and all of
Mm.
that type of stuff, and
Right.
rubbing obsidian all over themselves and whatever they do at the
Mm.
weekend. There's a time and a place. I'm not that one.
Mm.
I am the therapist that goes, fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck, fuck. Let's get this fucking shit done. Now, some of your viewers will be sitting there going, that's
Right.
but I'm not fucking catering to those down the road. I'm
Mm.
catering to those people that have been to the unicorn stroker, that have been to the archetypal therapist that just sits there doing the nodding.
Right.
And there must be something different out there. Then they watch my YouTube channel and go,
Hmm.
what the fuck is going on there?
Yes.
I'm talking about let's get things done, let's push things through, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very driven, a different energy. And
Mm.
you can ask Chris, you can ask Mike. I'm the same fucking idiot in a
Yeah.
therapy room as what I am standing with the bar with them two.
Right.
Because people buy people. If
Mm.
when therapists get that in their big fat coconuts, right? Then guess what? They become successful.
Mm.
Anyone that I've ever taught before has always thought they need to sit in this imaginary box. NLP has calmed down. There isn't a box. Just metaphor. I always do.
Always. They always pipe up, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Whenever you
Oh no, there's
yeah.
no fucking box. Shut up. Oh, he said the word try. Shut up. But anyway, but the point being is that I'm currently working with somebody who was very much into a very special. I'm not going to mention it, but in a very, 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 very specialized arena. And for ages, she thought, no, 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 I'm going to be an archetypal nodding therapist. And she was bored. And then she said to me, right, I've got an idea for something. I said, go for it. I said, what is it? And she did it. And do you know what? She has gone now. She has
Mm.
gone absolutely bonkers. I
Mm.
don't mean books full because she followed her passion.
Yeah.
She didn't stick to the tell me what your problem is. She went, let's fucking have some fun. And do you know what?
Fun. Yes.
Full. And a lot of people
Mm.
and a lot of therapists don't realize this, but times have changed.
Mm.
So when I'm watching people and they're doing their training, they're like, yes, and we must do this, and we must do that.
Mm.
Your general Joe public have fucking moved on 20 years.
Right.
If you watch the YouTube now, if you watch reels or you watch shorts or anything like that, the world has changed.
Mm.
People want instant gratification. Now, I do not disagree. I don't say that you can change everybody in one session, but you can make a remarkable change.
Right.
You can't fix everybody. This whole idea about we fix people and my client was 100% better. You're a
Mm.
fucking liar. You're an
Mm.
absolute liar. Nobody is 100% better. And when they walk in, because life is full of variations and life is not Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. All we do is prepare our client for the next wave of shit in life.
Right.
That's all you do. And when you understand that, which I did fairly early on, is that somebody comes with a fear or phobia. We all know that the issue is never the issue.
Mm.
That's not a Karl Smithism. That's if you go to the amount of people that go to the doctor and go, doctor, I've got lower back pain, and all of a sudden you find out it's a kidney problem. It's got nothing
Right.
to do with their back,
Right.
or I've got a pain, in my foot, and they find out it's a something that's up in their lower back, or
It's a
there's
symptom. Right.
It's merely just a fucking symptom. So when somebody says, I've got anxiety, this, that, and the other, I sit there, listen to them for 30 seconds, and they go, right, should we get on with it? And that's why I work content free. I don't have a consultation because I
Mm,
let them tell me what I think it is, but then move on. Because the issue that's presented is very, 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 very rarely the actual problem that's going on in their
mm,
life. So the reason is that a lot of therapists spend their time on, they have a problem, they
mm,
work like this and fan out and try to find out where all the problems are. Whereas
mm,
I start the other way round, I start with all the shit and then hone it in. I come
mm,
the other way. So when I start my sessions off, I say basically, let's let it all out now. And then what happens is as they're throwing all this stuff out, then we then narrow it down into a corner. And I'll tell you now, even I've got a video that I haven't posted yet. There was a lady on a course the other day, she was absolutely miserable. And she's actually doing Mike's course. So I will mention his name. But on the same token, um, everyone was working with her. And I did a contact, she'd done all these sessions with people. And I did a session with her and started outwards and then worked inwards.
mm,
It worked out. It was nothing to do with a bad husband. It was nothing to do with a bad child. It was nothing to do with this. It was the bereavement of a dog.
mm,
It was the bereavement of a dog. And do you know what she said to me? Do you know what? After that session, my life changed. I had not
mm,
got over George's the passing of George's dog. And I was
mm.
not really weird. You know
That
how,
is, yeah,
but the knock-on effect was huge. So
right.
I don't start with the when they say I've got a fear of spiders. I don't give a shit. I don't
Yeah,
care. I don't care. I just move around that and then work with the subconscious, unconscious brain, and then literally just hone in on what really is going on rather than what's been festering around. Do you know what I mean?
I love that. And of these 900 videos you have on YouTube, how did it all start? Like now, just clients see you on YouTube. You're talking
Yeah.
about TV studios, they see you on YouTube. Where did it start? Where did the clients start first coming in?
What with my YouTube channel?
I mean, even before that. So you had to have clients to show the
Uh
proof.
no,
Where did you get the proof to begin with?
Now, believe it or not, Carl's not always been a showman. Carl
Mm,
was very, 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 very shy. And when I was
mm,
in the police, I was given a job, which is called post incident. It's something that happens after a police shooting or police death in custody or a serious incident, death or
mm,
injury, serious custody. So, and I was involved very heavily in what's called post incident. And I
mm.
remember the first time I was ever asked to deliver that lesson, I fell flat on my ass. My heart was like this. Oh, do it,
Yeah.
do it, and I didn't know the lesson. I didn't understand the lesson properly. I was the new kid. Here you go,
Mm,
kid. Off you go.
yeah.
Roll on 18 months later, I was one of the UK's leads in that field
Mm,
because I dedicated myself to something that by accident, which was a charity. And I dedicated myself to that and I became one of the leads. And eventually I ended up going around police forces around the UK and I've done
mm,
US as well, where I've talked about post incident and about police shootings because they're very, very different over in England compared
mm,
to and Wales and Scotland compared to overseas, really. Very, very, very different. We don't have the right to carry firearms over here. So,
mm,
we've got a firearms incident, they're few far between.
mm.
Do you know what I mean? Yes, we've got a
Right.
problem in certain places with knives, but everyone's got a shithole like that, haven't they? So,
Mm,
but the thing is that yeah, I became that lead in that, and then my confidence grew.
mm,
Then eventually, what coming back to your initial question, how did I get to that position? One thing that I always teach people when I'm working with them is to go do a night out. And I don't know if this means anything to your viewers, but a Tupperware party, something like that. So what
yes.
it was is that people used to go around with tubs, didn't they, around somebody's house
Right.
and flog them and say, "Yeah, do you want to buy an order or what was it, Body Shop or something like
You're
that?"
right. Right.
A rep would go around somebody's house and do it. Well, how my career started was actually something I want all your viewers to look at is past life regression. Now,
Mm,
I can't, I don't really buy into past life regression.
mm,
Some of your viewers will love it. Good on you. Get out there, go do it. But the point being is that with the past life regression thing, I used to do past life regression parties. So it used to start off with 3 or 4 women,
I'm
10,
sorry, just to be clear, you didn't believe in it, but you did the parties.
no, no. And when I first started in this profession,
Yeah.
it's the same as anything. You think, oh, this could be real. And then you see it a
Mm,
few times, and to me, it just the love faded off for it, if that makes sense. I was
got
like,
it. Got it. Okay.
It's not really my bag, not really my baby.
Sure. Okay. So you
Well,
had these past life regression Tupperware parties.
yeah, yeah, past life regression part of Tupperware parties. You go round and it predominantly is the women. I will have to say this, it is predominantly the women, but the women, you go around there and I take an easel with an A3 bit of paper on it, put the person into hypnosis, send them on a little merry journey, and then
Mm,
write down as we're going along. Oh, you can see rags, there's a river,
mm,
13th century castle, whatever it was, and all that lot, Mirinda or whatever her name was, and then bring them out, and then give them that sheet of paper, and then go away with
yeah.
it. And they go do what they want. Then you get the next one in the chair, and by that time you've done two. They're all pissed. You get paid, but
Yeah.
the thing was, is that it wasn't necessarily I was doing it for past life regression parties because I was picking up weight loss, stop smoking on the
Mm,
back end of them. So the back of the room sale in somebody's front room
right.
was, if you got any friends who want any hypnotherapy done, do it that way. And then
Yeah.
what happened, I used to do it that way. And then eventually it built my business that way by doing all
Mm,
these little parties around people's houses. And
mm,
then eventually it started going spiraling out of control, to which then I ended up getting bigger rooms and doing nights with a hypnotist like that. So instead of having 4 or 5 ladies or a couple of gents in a room with a bottle of vino, or they're sitting there supping away on a beer,
yeah.
I'd now have 40, 50 people in a room, and I
Mm,
3 or 4 then upsell at the back of the room. Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Yep.
So that little thing there then transpired into something like that, which then transpires traveling around doing what I do around the world.
Right. Ladders up.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's just a confidence thing. And the ability, and one of the key things I love getting across to people is, who gives a shit if it doesn't work? Right?
Mm,
The biggest thing is if you're doing a demo and it's all going wrong, don't worry about it, because
mm,
the people in the chair don't give a shit. Or, or they're like, well, what do I say next? Just shut
mm.
the fuck up. Let
Yeah.
them do what they need to do. Let the
Yeah.
person, the show, believe it or not, is not about me.
Right.
I'm trying to get as much information into your show as much as I can. But actually, when I'm working, I don't really talk. So when we're doing something like a past life regression
Yeah.
party, I step back. I step
Mm,
back and just let it do that. It's the same as a stage hypnotist. A
right.
stage hypnotist wears black. They wear black and they try to keep out of the way. Their job is to merely just poke,
Mm,
do things like that. You know what I mean? To
right.
get that nurture out and make the show go. And it's the same. It doesn't matter. And a lot of people disagree, man. I don't care. But on the same token, doing a stage show, doing a Tupperware party, a past life regression party, and actually seeing a one-to-one client, they're all shows.
Mm,
They're all
right.
shows.
Right.
Elman was a showman. Ericsson was a showman.
Mm,
Mesmer was a showman.
mm,
Charco, Bernheim, they're all showmen. They
right.
all stood on stage and performed.
Mm,
That's what you got to remember. This is a fucking theatre performance. What
right.
we do, whether it's just I'm just going to get you to put your hands like this now, and that's it's a pantomime. It's
Mm,
all one big pantomime.
right.
Because let's come round to the fundamental basics of hypnosis. What is hypnosis? And nobody's ever going to change my mind on this.
Mm,
No, because I've come full circle on this. It is only two things: belief and expectation. Does the
mm,
client believe in you? Do they expect something to happen? So, it comes on to, there was a discussion the other day about, um, you know, about hypnosis inductions. I don't use hypnosis inductions anymore because my belief, the way people believe in me because of my YouTube channel.
mm,
They believe in me and
mm,
they expect something to happen because
right.
they've my YouTube channel. So my belief and expectation is met by my YouTube channel. That's why I very rarely, when people jump on Zoom, 95% of my work is done on this. So when I'm sitting there, I just go, right, that's it. Take a nice big deep breath. That's it.
Yep.
You just did it then, didn't you? So the thing
Yeah.
is yeah, there
Yeah.
you
It's
go.
that rapport. It's that expectation. It's that.
The
Yeah.
belief and
Mm,
expectation. So if I
mm,
say to the audience that are watching this now, the belief and expectation and the energies there already. So what happens is that you have to have that belief and expectation put in place. You cannot hypnotize somebody without that belief and expectation. We were having a discussion the other day and somebody said, oh, I do a lot of TV shows. You couldn't get a bigger amplification because the TV shows amplified it. A
right.
show has amplified the belief and expectation. And my point is, when I'm always teaching this, I say, the belief and expectation is so important. To prove this point, walk up to somebody in the street and try and hypnotize them without telling them what it is.
Mm,
There's no belief, there's no expectation. They don't know what is happening. There's no performance. There is no arena been set. There's no stage been set.
mm,
So if you
mm,
do that with your YouTube channel,
mm.
set up your stage, set up your belief, set up your
Right,
expectation, and people watch your YouTube channel, it's already been met.
right.
And a lot of people don't see that. They just go, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's all about this. No, it's not. It's belief and expectation.
Mm.
You cannot walk up to a person in the street and just grab their hand and do some form of hand take induction and go sleep, because they'll just go, what the fuck are you doing?
It
You
sure
have
will.
to
Yeah.
build a stage and you have to build a platform. And when you do a stage show or you work on TV, they are
Mm,
amplified because people
mm.
are told, people are told, we've got a hypnotist coming on in a minute. Oh, we're
Yeah,
going to a stage show tonight. The
yeah.
amplification is built. Ellman proved it with the catalyst induction. If nobody knows what the catalyst induction, ask Cheryl Ellman for it. It's on CD3, I think it is. I did have it here a minute ago, funny enough. CD3, it's called the catalyst induction. And if Cheryl, I'll see if I can get Cheryl to give me permission to load it. But the long story short is it's the one where Ellman's smoking a cigarette.
Mm,
And as I take my first puff, that first puff, and what he's doing is he's building up the whole thing. In
mm.
a moment, I'm going to take a draw on it. I'm going to take a draw on this cigarette. And
Yeah.
the first puff is going to make your eyes blink. The second puff is going to make your eyes just get a little bit heavier. The third puff,
Mm.
you're going to go into that hypnosis. So he's telling them what's then going to happen before it
I
happens.
love this because it involves him smoking. He's just relaxing, like,
Have
hey,
you
I'm
not heard
just
it? Have you not heard him?
no, I
Oh,
have not. And Cheryl's going to be a guest on this in a couple
oh,
weeks. Yeah,
yeah. I will. What I will do is I'll send you off air, but it's on one of the CDs. But
yeah,
it's called the Catalyst Induction, and you
yeah,
hit Elman because he was a performer. He
yeah,
was,
yeah,
he did his vaudeville because I used to be one of Cheryl's trainers. So and Larry's, God bless him, my little man, my friend, and yeah, we all went to Denmark, me and Cheryl and all that lot, and did some training over there. We became trainers for them. But one of those things when you listen about Dave Ellman was he was a performer. So was Milton
yeah,
Erickson, and
yeah,
he was at vaudeville. Then he went on to radio.
yep.
Then and then he built. But it's the way that he could. Where Ellman was is the way that he enunciated and the way that he was able
Mm,
to talk about. There was what was it? There's a lesson that he does on the radio where he's talking about these mixed berries or something like that, and they pour nitrogen over the top of them, and the way he's explaining it,
yeah, yeah.
visualize it, so you can see how his hypnosis work was amplified because of his radio work and his performance.
Mm.
And on that catalyst induction, he's got a cigarette, and he goes, on that first drag, I'm going to do this, and on the second drag, make your eyes, and on the third one, but he does it in that 1940s,
Right.
hey, what's going to happen now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Fucking Jesus Christ. And you can hear that, but that's all part of the performance. It's all part of
Mm.
the stage. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing stage, clinical, whatever you want to call yourself this week, street hypnosis,
Yeah.
impromptu performance. There has to be a stage met. There has to be a
Mm.
stage brought up, and you have
Right.
to bring it up. Clinical hypnotherapists don't see it through the mud of their own eyes because they're just literally, oh, I've got a qualification and I'll just put a web
Yes.
up. But actually, people by people, the most successful people are performers in this profession.
I love what you say about everyone should do some stage training. And I
Yes.
come from the world of stand-up comedy before coming in here,
Yeah.
and I've done some street work as well. And I'm wondering when you go out to do your street work,
Yeah.
because maybe they haven't seen, like you said, you can't just go up to them and be like, "Sleep now."
No. So,
So
yeah, go on. Sorry, finish off.
yeah, I was just wondering how you go about it because in my experience, I'll be like, "Hey, do you want a fun experience with the mind?" And then I start shifting to doing a little mentalism trick first. I like, "Hey, do you want to see a cool like magic
Yeah.
trick?" And then
Hey,
I'll bounce
there's
from
your
there.
intro. That's your
Yeah,
intro. So
yeah,
you've got to perform an in, haven't you? Same as in mentalism, magic. There's an
right.
in. Now with hypnosis, what I learned in Las Vegas, and especially for those people that have ever been to Hypno Thoughts Live or anything like that, which I strongly recommend that you all do, pile
Yeah.
over to Las Vegas, go to Fremont Street, and that's really where when I was mentored by a guy called Jonathan Chase. And John Chase, many years ago, and many of your viewers may know him if they don't. He's got "Don't Look in Their Eyes." John Chase, his name is, brilliant book.
Mm,
He passed away last year. And the long story short is he was always in a wheelchair. But you know what? We used to walk around with hypnosis t-shirts on. I'm a
Yeah.
hypnotist. Ask me.
Yeah.
And just that little thing there really got it. So then I got started getting t-shirts with hypnotist on the sleeve. And if you speak to Mike, and I think I still got the text message here, that's when they got started doing their JH they started doing their MHA t-shirts after that, because they started putting
Oh,
hypnotist on the sleeves and things like that, because
right, right.
we were on there, you know. It's the same as you can stand there in a black t-shirt and people will walk past you. You can stand there with a t-shirt that says hypnotist on the back, ask me, and you're going to get two different responses. That's
Mm,
forming the scene. That's
right.
doing that part there. So it's really important that people understand it's about forming that scene, and building up that picture, because it's really vitally important that people understand that your pre-talk, your preamble, the way that you get business in this is around that. It people, if the hypnosis induction, I'm going to say something controversial, and most people don't like this, but if you think, and I ask people to think, right,
Mm,
the hypnosis induction is the end of the process, not the start of the process.
mm, I agree.
The
Yep.
hypnosis induction is merely only there to
Mm,
fulfill the end of the belief and expectation.
mm,
Did Milton Erickson ever need it? No.
mm, mm,
Did Elman? No.
mm,
Do I? No.
mm,
Did any of the greats ever need a hypnosis induction? No.
mm,
It's something that's been made up over the past 30 years to sell
right.
people shit products. But do you actually know? Do you actually think that you actually need to do all seven stages of the Elman induction to fulfill hypnosis? No.
Mm,
They were all belief and expectation.
mm,
That's all they were. And if you understand that your client should be hypnotized prior to them arriving in your office, you're onto a winner, because the hypnosis starts the moment they look for a hypnotist or a hypnotherapist.
mm,
The moment they're thinking hypnotist, hypnotherapist, they go, I need to go find somebody in my local area. Oh, there's somebody there. There's Karl Smith. There's Karl Smith. What's he got here? Oh, he's got a YouTube channel. Oh, if I can
mm,
watch it. Then they watch my channel.
mm.
By the time they get to me on here, they're already,
Yep.
okay,
They're ready.
okay,
Yep.
okay. And that's it.
Yes.
I do not, when I'm teaching, what anyone who's ever done my live classes knows that I start teaching hypnosis inductions, because when you show people
Mm,
that they don't need a hypnosis induction, it tends to send them all nutty. They're all like that.
mm,
No, 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 no. And
right.
it's a little bit too far out for them. So we start with the fundamental basics about magnetic fingers,
Mm,
which in itself is a beautiful induction, but actually it's the only induction that I ever really use,
mm,
because if you understand hypnosis or a hypnosis induction, then you understand hypnosis itself. And
mm,
hypnosis is about this pre-talk, this preamble, this
mm,
belief and expectation. And if you build that into your website, your YouTube, your shorts, your reels, your
mm,
Facebook, and you build all of that in, and people find you and they see you doing it, by the time they come to you, you will never need a hypnosis induction.
mm.
Never.
I love that.
There's one hypnosis induction that I really love doing, and it's so complicated that I'm never going to teach you it now. Right, you ready? Take a nice big deep breath. That's it. And close your eyes.
In my model, I used to, before, in my previous years, I was a minister. And then looking back now with the hypnotic frame, I see church as the perfect thing. You come in, you get the music, you get them all worked up, you talk a little bit, and then what? Close your eyes, bow your head,
Show
and
me the money.
exactly, exactly.
Show me the money.
Yep.
At the very end, they don't ask
Raise
for the
your
money at the
hands if you
beginning.
love Jesus. Now use your other hand to reach in your back pocket.
Ta-da. There we go. And I probably offend people there, but on the same token, it is. They never ask for the money at the beginning of the show.
Right. Mm,
They never say, "Can we have your money first?" You have
right.
to go through this whole preamble first, and then they start. And if they do take it at the beginning, they're asking for more at the very end.
Mm, right. Special offering for the minister's jet, the private jet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta go
exactly.
minister to those people in Africa on my private jet.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, if people that watch this understand that the hypnosis induction is the end of the process,
Mm,
and you think about it, and you really do think about it, go right. So But and a lot of people say, well, they didn't go into hypnosis. It's because did they? And you when you do the autopsy, let's say, on what's gone on, you go, how long have you known the person for? Never met them before. All right. And did you do anything with them beforehand? No, I just started with the hypnosis induction. There's no foreplay. There's no
Mm,
foreplay. It's the best way of
right,
explaining it. There's no fucking foreplay.
right,
Right.
right.
So if there's no foreplay, then all of a sudden you're just going straight, and it's all. That's why it doesn't go well. Whereas if you
I
introduce
love that analogy because, like, what's the best sex is the one with the best foreplay.
exactly, yeah, but always is for me. I don't know about them. Anyway, the thing is, but yeah, but you're getting it. And the thing is about that little piece there, about that little bit. And a lot of people say to me, "Oh, Carl, it shouldn't be on the website. This, that, and the other, blah blah blah," because it's when you can do your pre-talk in 2 or 3 minutes.
Mm,
I can hypnotize somebody on the street. Sure, Michael Andrews, we'll go out and we'll do hypnosis and stuff like that.
mm.
And the first couple are always a pain in the ass. I don't give a shit who it is. They're
Yes.
always a pain in the ass. But
Yeah.
when you get a crowd around you and you start getting
Yeah.
that momentum, that's when it kicks off.
Right.
That's the same principle. The stage has been set. The belief and
Mm,
expectation has already been triggered. That
mm.
first one, trying to find the first one to work with, and especially when you're in Las Vegas, you're trying to find that first one to work with. It's always a pain in the ass. Then all of a
Mm.
sudden, one turns up. That
Yep.
one turns into, can I have a go? Bang, bang,
Yep.
bang.
In the
And then all
crowd.
of a
Yeah.
sudden, you've got 20, 30 around you, and
Yep.
now they're all falling like ducks. And that's
Yep.
why.
Yeah.
Because the show started, and that's why that pre-talk, that preamble only takes, I reckon I could get it down to 90 seconds.
Mm.
A fairly good hypnosis pre-talk.
Yeah.
But the point being is that if you understand, if you was to do your belief and expectation on a YouTube channel, on a YouTube short on Facebook or anything like that, and demonstrate what you can do rather than fucking chat a good talk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in this profession, they sit there and talk a good fucking show. But when you say, all
Mm.
right, show me, they go,
Yeah.
yeah, but look at my certificates. A certificate, a
Yeah.
certificate is a certificate is like when you get your car checked over here. It's
Yeah.
called an MOT, or you get your car checked because for a yearly checkup or whatever it is. It's only as good as it is the fucking moment it passes. Because the
Yes.
moment it drives off the forecourt and it fucks up, that doesn't really matter. It's
Right.
only at the point of same as a certificate. A certificate is only as useful as when you was given to you. Because if you don't do
Mm.
anything with it, then it's useless.
Right.
Absolutely useless.
Right.
And coming back to where we were at the beginning, because we're running out of time. But one of the biggest things I see is that is confidence, low confidence
Mm.
in hypnotists, and it's so depressing, really, that people, when I see them, that they've spent £10,000 on a shit course to get 3 letters behind their names. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking terrible. And
Right.
they spend 10 grand on a fucking course.
And we can name names or not.
Yeah, they're the worst. They are the worst. Oh, I paid 10 grand on a course. I am royalty. No, you're a
Right.
fucking retard, not a
Right.
fucking royalty. So the thing is that it's that confidence,
Mm.
that there's an air of arrogance with someone, which is that was it that what's he Dunning Kruger. That
Mm.
Dunning Kruger, where
Mm.
their actual ability and what they're fucking prescribing is two different things.
Right.
But the thing is that confidence, the
Mm.
lack of confidence in these people. Because I always say to people, even if you're not going to train with me, always go to somebody that can prove they can hypnotize.
Mm.
The amount of hypnotist trainers out there that can't hypnotize is
Mm.
unbelievable.
Mm.
And when people go, yeah, we're just developing a script this week, I'm like, oh, you poor bastard, you are with a fucking idiot, because they don't understand hypnosis. The trainer doesn't understand it, and I don't care how much money people have spent on a course.
And
It
yeah, it's funny because you talk about these scripts, and one part of my mind, like, are people really still using strict scripts? And then I turn and look in the
Yeah.
hypnotherapy group, and they're like, I developed this AI program to be able to. It's like, oh my God.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I know a few people who fucking do it in this profession. They're very good friends of mine.
Yeah.
Scott, you arsehole, if you watch this. But the thing is that they sell it, and they're making a bit of coin. But on the same token, if we taught people properly in the first place, they wouldn't need these things.
Mm.
Because did Mesmer use scripts? Did Braid use scripts when he taught
Mm.
people? No, he fucking didn't.
Mm-mm.
He taught them pure hypnosis. They taught them,
Mm.
Mesmer and Braid and Elman, fucking Erickson.
Yeah.
They taught them the magic. That's what people miss out on. That magic, and
Yeah.
and hypnosis, what it's for. And Mike does it well as well. You know, me and Mike talk about it all the time.
And you mentioned this YouTube channel with 900 videos and you're showing what you do.
Yeah.
So are you having clients sign off and say, videotape
Yeah.
me? That's
Yeah.
that's something else.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. While people are worrying their asses about over there about little badges and shit like that, I'm
yeah,
pumping up the next video that's got swearing on and getting clients in. And
yeah.
and the thing is that I'm showing people I can do it. That's the key thing. Can you do it? You know, that's one of the key things there. It fulfills the belief and expectation.
Mm,
You know, with that catalog of this, that, and the other. You know,
mm,
I get emails all day long, and it's now set up actually on Claude. And I've been playing around with AI for the past few weeks.
hmm
Now I've got it set up that when people send me an email and say, "Hi, Carl," you know, in the title or in the words that I've suffered with trauma, blah blah blah, and if it says keywords, then the video, then it does a response straight away with the video that's located on YouTube, sends it straight
mm,
back to them, and that's how I get my booking. And then the next email is, "Hi, have you had a 2 days later? Would you like to book a session with me?" Bang, bang, bang,
mm,
because
mm.
it's done like that. But you know, because I'm not sitting there going, "Oh, I'm your therapist. I'm
Right.
fucking great." I'm going, "Let me show you."
Yep.
Don't
Interesting. And
tell
then,
them. Don't tell them. Show them.
and do you, I'm assuming you record all your sessions that are at least over, are able to be recorded, and then you
Yeah.
sign off and then be like, all right,
Right. So a lot of people say to me, "How do you get permission to record sessions?"
yeah.
So one of the key things is that 95% of the ones that are on my YouTube channel are either from my training days or
Mm,
from people that I've said, "Hi guys, I need to do some sessions. Anyone want any sessions?" And I just record them and bang them up.
mm,
But there's never any of my clients. Now, in my mentoring group, there are about 3 or 4 videos in there that I have recorded and received permission of because of some really funky thing that's happened during it, like
mm.
some weird exorcism,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
they start doing floaty hand things and doing things like this. And the other one was mumbling. She was mumbling like some African type. I don't know. It was like, and
yeah.
I'm going, "In a minute, you're from," she was from down the southwest of England when they all talk like they got a carrot in their mouth, you know what, proper farmers. But she was
Right.
talking like she was like from some African, you know, it's like really weird.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
those, I think there's only 3 or 4 of those. And I've said to the client, "That's can I use that as a training thing? I
yeah,
won't stick it on YouTube." "Yeah, that's fine, Carl. Don't worry about it. Just make sure my name's not near it." Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So I scrub the name at the bottom and make sure I do
Mm,
it. But most of them are working groups. Most of the people on my mentoring and stuff like that, what they do is they all come together. They all then say, "Hi guys, I'm free this week." They record each other,
mm,
do their techniques, prove they can do it, do some EFT, and they
yeah.
show a different catalog. Like I said at the very beginning, it's about showing a portfolio of different things you can do.
Beautiful.
If I just leave it on this, people are not interested in these certificates. They're not. They're interested in people. People buy people. And some of you may have thought this was a crazy roller coaster. That's brilliant. Doesn't mean that we can't have a beer at
Mm,
the end of the day. Just means I'm not your therapist. Some
yeah.
might think, "Fucking hell, that was mental. I want to go book with him." That's fucking fine. But my
Yeah.
point being is, it's horses for courses. Some people sit there talking about unicorns and they talk about obsidian and they talk about all this, out and the other. Then you've got the ones in the middle who just sit there and nod and do that type
Mm-hmm.
of shit. Then you've got me at the end that says, "Fuck, fuckity, fuck, 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 let's get this on."
Yeah.
And people buy that. It's got me
Yeah.
TV work. I've had work. I teach all around the world, and I've made a career not in niching in being anxiety or weight loss and that. I've
hmm
niched in fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck, fuck.
Yes. And
Cartman hypnosis. It's Cartman hypnosis for anyone who ever just
Cartman.
soap up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if Cartman grew up and got into hypnosis. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. All right. And in just a moment, we'll do that little thing at the end we talked about, the little pre-talk. And before we get there, I'm wondering if something bubbles up in your heart right now when I ask you if you had one message to tell the world, what might it be?
You can't change the past. You can only shape the future. I always live my life as though it's the last 6 months of my. What would you say to somebody if they knew it was that? What would you say to somebody if they only knew it was their last 6 months? You
Mm,
never know what's around the corner. Don't let fucking shit worry you. You can't change the past. You can only do what you can do in the future and live your life like you've only got 6 months to live because you fucking don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
right. Beautiful.
What's the point?
All right. And then now this usually when I have a hypnotist on here, we might do an index or something, but you mentioned doing a pre-talk. So what do you got, sir?
So the key thing about it is, and we mentioned all the way through this video,
Yeah.
but it's about hypnosis, 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 hypnosis. And one of the biggest things that I always talk about hypnosis is that when I'm doing anything, a lot of people use the word relax. Now,
Mm,
you don't need relaxation to get hypnosis. You need hypnosis. You don't need relaxation is a byproduct. So when you're doing anything and you talk about in a moment, there's a few key words I'm going to say now. Imagine, only imagine now, because don't forget, all we deal in is perceptual values. All we
mm,
do is change perceptual values. People don't go anymore. They go, oh, that's all they do.
mm,
Fear of spiders, fear of heights, doesn't matter what it is. Our objective is merely to change the perceptual value of what it is,
mm,
very fundamentally. So if you can imagine, just imagine, only imagine. The other thing as well is in a moment. So just imagine, only imagine in a moment, you're going to let go of that. Then in a moment, so I'm building up the belief, I'm building up the expectation. In a moment, I'm going to do this with you. In a moment, the hypnosis is going to hit the top of your head, and the hypnosis is going to trickle down your forehead and just make your eyes blink. And as it just start to blink, what happens with that hypnosis? There you go. And as that hypnosis just starts to go, there you go. And it just goes through your body. That hypnosis there just starts to trickle through your body now. And that's it. You can just feel the hypnosis. And that's the hypnosis there. No, not at one time, not at one time there did I say the word relax. I said, just imagine what it would feel like to let go of that thing right now. In a moment, builds the belief and
mm,
expectation. Hypnosis is something that I've always said is activation of the imagination. That's all we do, right?
mm.
This cognitive fucking bullshit. I don't know where that's come from. It's another sales pitch for poor bastards. But all we do is activate the imagination. Any of the good hypnotists over 300 years, it's all about imagine. Emil
Mm,
Coué, activation of the imagination. It's all we do. So
mm,
if you can get somebody to imagine that thing disappearing and fading away, you've already done something for them.
mm,
If you can get them to believe that something's going to happen in a moment, you've already achieved that. And if you say that hypnosis is going to start that process now,
mm,
there, it'll just start to let it go now.
mm,
Already, I have a hypnosis session. I already that's predominantly the start of a hypnosis session. That pre-talk there will have people just nodding away like nobody's business,
mhm,
like you. No,
mhm,
and it's as simple as that. If you can use your imagination in a moment and hypnosis, 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 and learn to be quiet, then that's when it is. Believe it or not, if you watch some of my videos, I did a video the other day about being quiet, and I walked out the room during a session in a classroom, and I left the room for 25 minutes. I think it was 20 or 25 minutes to prove I have to keep out of the way.
mm,
Most therapists ruin sessions, not the client,
mm,
therapists, because
mm,
they're always fucking chatting. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Not letting the client do anything that they need to do. Being prescriptive. Walk down a sandy beach. I don't like fucking sandy beaches.
mm,
Being too prescriptive and not allowing the imagination to fire up because that's where we work. We work in the imagination.
mm,
When you understand that you work in the imagination, it's like Willy Wonka.
mm,
Like fucking Willy Wonka in a chocolate factory around here. That's all we do.
mm. I do love chocolate.
There you go.
Well,
But
thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I really
no,
appreciate it. And we'll be sure to put your links down below. And then when this goes on YouTube, we'll collaborate and
yep.
people will easily see you as they already do.
Yeah, you can find me at Karl Smith Hypnosis on YouTube or carlsmithhypnotherapy.com.
Beautiful. Thank you again.
No worries.